Hi friends, welcome back to the channel, and this is your daily news. So let's just jump right in. We're gonna talk about housing actually, and look at this: 7 best places in Florida to buy a home for less than 380,000. And I feel like this headline sort of captures where we are at the moment. Some people are saying, you know what, if I can get something under 380, that would be fantastic. I can actually afford it. Take a look at this: housing market predictions for 2023. When will home prices be affordable again? And were they ever affordable? Right. A joke. But if you guys know, prices are really elevated. And I'm sure if you're in the market right now, you just feel like there's nothing that out there that just seems too attractive. And you're not alone. There's other people out there that feel this as well. I mean, you can look at another headline: homeowners are quitting as low inventory, high mortgage rates keep a key group out of the housing market. And the basic idea that it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of choices in terms of affordability, and also to your mortgages are going up. But prices are going to come down. So we're going over some just basic headlines from today. Home prices fell in third of U.S. During the first quarter. And the basic idea is that the phrase that they're using is boom towns, pandemic boom towns. It's the ones that essentially the prices skyrocketed during the pandemic as people were shifting around where they're going in the country. Some people are calling for a 50% drop in housing, right? Because mortgage rates are essentially going up, which slows the amount of buyers out there, because the costs become too prohibitive. Also, too, you have people losing their jobs, these kind of things, and a possible recession coming. And so people are less willing to take on more risk. So this is one prediction: is 15% down, perhaps. Here's another headline: roughly 1 in 4 homes for sale in Austin and Seattle cost less than they would have a year ago. So in some markets, the prices are down, and there's a lot of it. Again, it's the inflated ones. There's a lot of it on the coastal cities. You guys can see here. So all this red over here, these are where prices are going down. It's only like a few areas are green. So on this chart here, red means prices are coming down. Green means they're going up. Here's some more. So it's got like Austin, Seattle, San Francisco. Those are the sort of big ones where there's a huge drops. Austin, I guess, what is this? 25% have lowered estimate monthly housing payments. San Francisco, 23%. This would be lowering your monthly housing payments. San Francisco, New York, and then Pittsburgh, actually. So I didn't know there was a bubble in Pittsburgh. Where people are out in Pittsburgh, please let us know. I'd love to hear about that. But prices are coming down. So to answer the questions early on, when are they going to become affordable again? I can tell you they're definitely coming down. You can see here, home prices fell 3% in March, biggest annual drop in a decade, right? So we kind of know where we're going. You can actually see it on the chart as well. So this is sort of the way you read the chart is like how much our price is changing in terms of median home price. So you can see prices really, really spiked. That was like 2021, 2022-ish kind of thing. And you're probably wondering, okay, what does that mean for you? It depends what market you're in. So the higher price of the home, so in this chart here, this tells you like, say, 10 million plus. This one here is like 250 to 500. This tells you like what percentage of the homes in that price range will be down in price this year, right? So the more you go up in terms of price of your house, the higher chance it'll come back down. We'll also look at markets as well. You can see here. So for example, you can see here, share of for sale homes with lower estimated monthly housing payment than a year ago. So does it cost less than a year ago? And the ones that are more likely is going to be if you're Austin, Seattle, San Francisco, New York, Pittsburgh, Philly, right? So these are sort of your tops to where they came in inflated too much, and now the prices are certainly coming down. Austin seems to be the biggest bubble though. Here where it's like a 13% decline, it's kind of crazy. You also got Memphis on the chart, Cape Coral, Florida, Oakland, San Jose, California, Boise. Boise's always up here. That was probably one of the bigger bubbles. Detroit's an interesting one. I wouldn't have guessed that. So there's a large percentage of 12% here of houses that are come down in price compared to last year. New Orleans, Salt Lake, and then West Palm Beach, Florida. Again, it's all going to depend on which market that you're in, right? And trust me, guys, I really know. We see housing prices all the time, and it's kind of funny because like things seem so ludicrously expensive in some markets, and that's why people are shifting around, right? You're looking for a better deal, and then going back to the interest rate situation, that's one thing that sort of impedes people from jumping in right away. And also too, we might see more of a slower of a credit lending, right? Meaning that the banks aren't so willing to lend out to people when they feel like that your chance of paying it back is not so great. That's essentially where recession comes into play. Now, the other thing is too is like talking about people not be able to pay back things, stuff like that. we are arguing right now in DC regarding the debt ceiling. So, you have the Biden and Democrats on one side, you got McCarthy and the Republicans on the other side. You can read the headlines. White House McCarthy disavows short-term debt limit extension. So meaning that they don't want to do a Band-Aid. They want to try to get a long-term permanent fix on this. Probably, if I had to guess, something will be done soon. Usually they drag these sort of negotiations out to the final hour, and then, right at midnight when the bell is about to toll, they make an announcement. Now, according to this chart, this one's kind of a funny one. This is essentially when both the House and the Senate are in session, and also too when Biden's is hanging around the White House as well. So the deal likely between May 9th, between May 9th and May 17th, when everyone's around to where they can meet in person. Essentially, I was looking at this, and actually we'll just read through it so you can get an idea of what they're talking about here. It says, McCarthy demands budget cuts in exchange for raising the debt ceiling. Biden has refused to link budget and debt talks. If both sides maintain their stance after the meeting, it will be a sign for markets that risks of the U.S. credit downgrade or payment default are rising. Any comments indicating progress in the budget agreement would be a sign that these risks are diminishing. So, is the USA going to default? Probably not. But the longer that it goes on, we're not thrilled about this sort of situation. I'm understanding here. You can see here the House bill, they wanted to do a raise the debt ceiling by 1.5 trillion, right? So what's a few trillion among friends? It's like a lot of money. And in exchange for 4.8 trillion in budget deficit cuts over the next 10 years. And it's the same kind of stuff. The thing that is sort of troubling about the way our politics works is, people only want to pass things that benefit their side. And that's always bothered me about either party. It doesn't matter, which one. I would prefer to pass things that benefit the whole country. But I'm just telling you the reality of it is like, people's like, okay, how, and their point of view is like, well, these states voted for me. Therefore, I have to keep my promises to said states, and I will try to get bills that, benefit said states. And the other side's like, well, no, these states voted for me, and I'm going to get things that benefit that, right? So as long as we remain in that kind of political milieu, we'll still have divides in the country. And I'm not talking about culture, I'm just talking about economic, which is a sad thing. I wish we could come up with ways to, pass things that benefit everyone. And then you also have the other situation, which sadly as well, and in my opinion, where you have people who are focused, talking about voters, are focused on things that are just completely irrelevant or unimportant. And that stuff bothers me. So I don't want to go through a long list of, my political things, but, I'm fine talking about money. I'm fine talking about taxes, but, I'll put it so simply, what people do in their bedroom, you can do whatever you like. That's it. I don't care what you're doing there. But some people think that's the most important issue. And that stuff is like, I don't know what we're talking about anymore. So I'm fine talking about budget. I think that's stuff we should be talking about, perfectly frank. One of the things that is coming out tomorrow is the new CPI data, that'd be inflation. So I don't think it's going to cool anytime. That's what the projections seem to be saying. And also, too, Fed, so this is one of the Fed people, so John Williams, basically what they do is they come out in public every now and then, and it's not by accident, it's not by mistake, and it's sort of to get the market and people ready for what happened. So this is the headline. Fed John Williams says rates could be increased if inflation doesn't come down. So they're getting you prepared. They're like, okay, let's see what the data comes out and says on the CPI, and be prepared. We may not necessarily pause. So they're trying to just leave the door open there. The problem that the Fed has is they don't want to just like keep changing direction every now and then. So for example, let's say next month they decide to cut. They're like, oh my God, we made a mistake. Let's raise, right? Then, oh my God, we made a mistake. Let's cut. Like they don't want to be like doing that. So they kind of want to, like, in the perfect world scenario would be, okay, let's raise, let's pause for a while, right? Maybe a year, who knows? And then maybe we cut, or we keep it there for a while. But we don't want to be like raise, pause, raise, cut, raise, pause. You see what I'm saying? You kind of want to keep it steady in terms of that. So they're trying to get you prepared for, there is a possibility we could raise again depending on inflation. And talking about other things that you don't want to be doing. Again, Fed don't want to be too volatile. Also, too, you don't want to be doing insider trading. There was a really crazy thing. So this is an ex-Coinbase manager. They get 2 years for insider trading. The basic idea of this was that this person knew of NFTs, / crypto type things that were going to be listed on Coinbase ahead of time. Like they would have a list of these things. And if you know what's going to be on there before everyone else, then obviously then you can buy it before everyone else. It's kind of like, hey, I'm going to pump said penny stock in, but I'm going to buy a whole bunch of penny stock ahead of time. That kind of situation. So that's the very definition of insider trading, having knowledge of things before it's available to the public. So be careful out there. Don't do any insider trading. And that's what's sort of about the housing market. Again, the overall thing is that it looks like housing prices are cooling, and they're going to cool more in places that are more bubbly or pandemic boomtown kind of thing, or in essentially if your price of your home was really, really high, it has more to fall, right? So that's sort of the deal with that. So love to hear your thoughts on any one of these things, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.